What's going on, guys? So, just got done with my Pokemon drama video, my response to all that stuff going on. And this video is actually some very exciting news. It's going to be probably the shortest video I've put up in a long time. Don't mind our 3 Maltese dogs. They are having a fist fight in our sunroom right now. You guys may hear them. I don't know how good the microphone is. I don't know if it's going to pick up any of that. But anyways, guys, I am picking up for the first time ever for the pinnacle of my collection, the first edition Charizard. Now, I know some of you are thinking, oh my God, did you get a PSA 9? Did you get a PSA 10? Did you get a PSA 8? Did you get a PSA 7? Did you get a PSA 6? No, I didn't. I did not get a grade that high, and here's why. I was finally getting my credit card debt down. My car was having some issues, so that's not helping. But for the most part, this was, I've been waiting and holding back on buying a lot of other high-end cards so that I could finally cross this card off my list. What I have ordered is a thick stamp, first edition stamp. What that means is the first edition stamps on, do I have an example here? I don't, but the first edition stamps, well, I could get something. Hold that thought, guys. Let's see. We have a thick stamp. Yes, there's a thick stamp. These are both thick stamps. And let's see if we can get ourselves a thin stamp. I have mostly thick stamps. I really like the thick stamps. Damn, I think I have all thick stamps. Jeez Louise. Okay, here we go. We got a thin stamp. Alright, sorry guys, bear with me. Man, it's crazy looking at these. These were so expensive when I picked them up. Okay, so right here we have a, and hopefully the camera picks it up. I don't know if you guys can see. It's confusing because if it was a thick stamp, you would think that would have to do with the amount of ink used on the stamp. And so you can barely see the 1. It's very small in this stamp. And so this is a thin stamp. It's a thin 1, first edition 1 in that stamp for this Chansey. And my whole collection for first edition cards is mostly like PSA 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's the highest first edition PSA card I have in my master set. That's a holographic card. All of my commons and uncommons are like 8s or 9s. So I'm pretty happy about that. But we've got this Chansey here that has a thin stamp. And then over here, I don't know if you guys will even be able to pick this up on the camera, but we have my PSA 6 Blastoise right here. And this stamp is, let's see if I can get it to pick up on that. Oh, beautiful. This thing is beautiful. I was able to use the selfie. Guys, stop fighting in there. Jeez Louise. So I'm able to use the selfie cam to actually get a really good close-up of this first edition stamp. That's awesome that it can actually zoom in on that. That's beautiful. So you guys can see, you can see the 1 here a lot better. That is a thick stamp. That is when the 1 is a little bit more spread out. Since I'm able to show that so well on this camera, you guys can see the 1 here is a lot harder to see. I wonder if I put them side by side like that, if you guys will be able to notice that this is an easier 1 to see than this one. So this is the thick stamp, this is the thin stamp. Anyways, guys, oh yeah, we gotta refocus this in. So that is I've got a thick stamp and a thin stamp. Both. I have both variants in a 5 coming here. I don't know if I'm going to get ripped off. I don't know if I'm going to get bamboozled. I have no idea what's about to go down. All I know is that I spent about $4,000 on a PSA 5 Charizard, and it's coming in, and that completes my first edition master set. Now, I don't know if I'm going to keep the cards forever. I may end up selling them and upgrading to a higher PSA grade. It's been in the back of my mind for such a long time. It's been nagging me that I needed this card, that I had to complete my first edition set, and I will be doing a video going through all of my first edition base set cards. And it's definitely my pride and joy. Like, I remember going for these, you know, in hindsight, I wish I would have got the Charizard first, but like, let's see if we can zoom in on this. This card's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I don't think modern Pokemon has anything on a card like this. I really don't. It's absolutely gorgeous. Got a PSA 6 here. Yeah, it's hard to beat the old school cards. Man, it's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. All right, I think I'm done getting hypnotized by first edition base set. Anyways, guys, I'm nervous just thinking about it. I want to say that everything is going to go well. The seller had decent feedback, but that really doesn't mean much. You know, there's a lot of scamming going on with these high-end cards, and that would be an absolute tragedy if I had to go through anything like that. That would absolutely burn me out from the hobby. Like, I would take a break from collecting probably for a couple of months if something like that happened. Because not only would I have to dispute and try and get my money back, but I would also have to wait for the money to get accounted and come back to me. It would just be extremely stressful. And just getting my hands on this card was such an ordeal. Back and forth bidding and fighting, you know, my other opponent bidders. The whole thing was stressful, and I'm glad I can cross it off my list and be done with it. And one thing I also noticed, I think there's 497 PSA 5 first edition Charizards in the world. So that's to say that I would have one of less than 500 of these that are graded in that grade in the world. I would have a piece of that. That's an amazing piece of history to have. I'm so excited to have it. You know, I wish the channel kind of would have taken off sooner so that I could maybe use some of the monetization to pay for that card, but everything is coming out of pocket. My whole collection has come out of pocket. This first edition Charizard's coming out of pocket, and I just hope that it'll be a good long-term investment. And regardless, I'm stoked to have a first edition master set of Pokemon cards. Even if you were to get into collecting 4 or 5 years ago, it would still have costed you an arm and a leg to complete, you know, a master set base set. It still would have costed you a couple $1,000s. I think it would have costed that much. Shipping, taxes, ordering all the single cards. You can see people's first edition base sets for sale for anywhere from $30,000 to $100,000. Some of them have like PSA 8s, PSA 7s and 8s for their holographic cards. I do not, but that doesn't mean that I don't doubt that my master set first edition base collection will be worth something like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in the near future. I think just the fundamental fact that there's such a small supply of these cards left will help their values to eventually bottom out and then skyrocket. And right now, I think is a great time to get into vintage. I've already talked about that in my other videos, but guys, I am extremely excited. I hope you're excited. I've never seen a first edition Charizard, but one time up close in person. I was at a Comic-Con, and this dude pulled out a first edition Charizard from his like sock drawer that he had as a kid. I'm not even making this up, guys. It was amazing. So I know that people with low feedback, you know, they can just be people that found their childhood cards and then they send them off to get graded and then they sell them immediately. And that could have been the case here. I've messaged the seller. I have not heard back yet, which makes me a little bit nervous considering that I just spent like $4,400 after tax, you know, because you got to pay the tax too. So if you're paying $4K for a card, you're really paying $4,400. So, you know, I made another video that's pretty much like gotten almost 10,000 views now, which is kind of a warning that Pokemon is very addictive in its nature. And, you know, if you don't take breaks and take breathers, that if you don't moderate it, it can definitely be harmful to you mentally, financially, you know, even physically, because you're spending all this time researching and bidding on cards all the time. Some people even have bots for bidding. which is crazy. I don't know if that's a thing or if it's still a thing for Pokemon cards. But yeah, it's craziness. And honestly, I was looking at the PSA charts and I was looking at the values for these cards. And in 2019, you could get a PSA 5 Charizard for $1,500. Even in the tail end of 2019, you could get it for $2,000. So honestly, in just barely 3 years, that card has doubled in value. Imagine if a PSA 5 Charizard in 2026 was worth 10,000 or like 8 or 9,000. That would be insane, guys. And honestly, like I think the conditions of the cards are really nice. Like, yeah, they have some surface scratches. They don't have to be perfect, but it's a piece of cardboard. Let's be real here. It's a piece of cardboard. So no, I don't want to pay $30, $40, $50,000 for a PSA 9 piece of cardboard. If I had that kind of money coming in from the YouTube channel, sure, why not? Do it for the entertainment purposes. Do it so that I can say I have one. But for the most part, I do collect a lot of 5s and 6s and 7s. I think 7 is basically mint as far as I'm concerned. A 7 or an 8 are kind of mint condition as far as I'm concerned. But I do understand the appeal of having like a PSA 9 or a Beckett 9 or a CGC 9. And also, after getting some slabs recently in my mail day video that were from CGC, I have a whole new respect from CGC. So now I've had slabs. I have a slab from Beckett, I have a BGS slab, I have a bunch of PSA slabs, and then I have CGC slabs. So it's kind of cool because I'm seeing the differences between them. I like, guys, shush. I like the Beckett slabs because they're really thick and they feel really good in my hands. I think the CGC slabs are just as nice as the PSA slabs, if not a little bit nicer in terms of the quality. But overall, obviously, PSA kind of takes the cake in terms of their registry and the photos and the documentation and the charts that show everything. Again, I have not checked if BGS, if Beckett or CGC grading company, I haven't checked if they have the same system. So that's something that I can definitely check out. And I also want to make a video entirely on my opinions of grading in general. But guys, oh my God, I am so freaking excited to get this Charizard first edition. Like, I about flipped out when I told my wife, like, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and she supports me in this because she knows that I've wanted this card for a long time. Despite how expensive the card is, I'm so close to completing that master set, and I really hope the card that comes in can do that. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I just wanted to share that with you and say, be on the lookout. Hopefully the card comes in a couple of days, but I can't control shipping. It may come in a week or more. I don't know. I just hope that it gets here quick. I hope it gets here safe and sound. I hope it doesn't get like missed, lost, or stolen in shipping. I will literally lose my mind if that happens. But it's gonna be crazy, guys. It's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna have a video that I'm gonna put up when that card comes in, showing the card, unboxing it, sharing it with you guys, and then I'm gonna do a video showing my entire first edition base set collection. Probably my most prized possession as far as all of my collectibles go. It's that collection because at the end of the day, it's the cards that are so valuable. There's the sealed product and the cards that are so valuable. And the first edition Charizard is one of the better investments in the hobby. Let's see if I can focus that in a little bit better. In terms of a long-term investment, the first edition Charizard, in my opinion, is not the rarest card around, but I do think that it is a blue chip stock of Pokemon cards, if you will. I think it's like an index of Pokemon cards, if you will. I don't think it's a highly risky investment. I think if it's a 9, an 8, a 9, or a 10, it could be. It's a lot of money to put in a cardboard. If your house burned down, you would lose all that stuff. You would lose it. Maybe there are insurance policies on that kind of stuff, but you would lose most of it. I like to invest in the stock market, and if I'm going to put a lot of money in something, I'm going to put it in a home, a car, the stock market, jewelry, watches. I'm going to do that way before I put it into a Pokemon card. I've already done most of the things I wanted in my life, but having an incredible Pokemon card collection, as weird as it could sound to some of my close friends and family, that's been a dream of mine for the past couple of years, and I feel like I'm finally getting to the point where that dream is becoming a reality. So I'm very excited to have this card on the way here, and I will keep you guys posted when that comes in, and stay tuned. And thank you, everybody, because honestly, I was very close to giving up on collecting at one point. There was a point where I was bidding on a Charizard first edition, and I lost. And I just thought, I'm never going to get this card. It's only going to get more expensive, and I might as well quit now because I'm in debt, and I keep buying other stuff that I don't need, and that's you know, that's just being real. You are going to buy stuff randomly on impulse that you don't even want or need, and that can be really long term. That can be really harmful. So I'm glad that I was able to just say, hey, look, you might be budgeting for a couple of months. You might not be buying anything else for a couple of months. I might not be able to do as many mail day videos as I used to for a couple of months because I've pretty much set everything aside so that I could finally pick up a first edition Charizard. There are collectors out there that have several first edition Charizards in different grades, but I may never be one of those collectors. I just know that once I get this card, my master set will finally be complete, and I can finally have that checked off my list. So I'm excited to share that with you guys, and stay tuned. Let me know what you think of first edition base set. Do you think it's going to just get pummeled in the next couple years? Do you think it's going to steadily rise up? I know some of you don't even care about vintage, and that's totally fine. I know that the eras that are coming out now are going to be the generations that are nostalgic in the next 20 years. So, you know, the next 20, 30 years, people are going to come back and say, I grew up with Sword and Shield when I was a younger guy, and I'll be in my, 40s, 50s, and I'll be saying, yeah, exactly. That's why you're buying these booster boxes from me for thousands of dollars. Because people get nostalgic for different things. But at the end of the day, I think when you have the history of Pokemon and you have cards that have, been here from the very beginning, that is the pinnacle of Pokemon card investing, in my opinion, other than like trophy cards and championship cards and, like Pikachu Illustrator. I need some water. Anyways, guys, that's just my little rant on, I'm psyched to have the first edition Charizard on the way. But anyways, peace out, guys. And I was wondering, I thought I had a shadowless Charizard to show you guys. This is the card basically, but with a first edition stamp. But you guys will see it when you see it. I'm super excited, and I hope you guys are too. Thank you for everybody that's, followed me through this journey of the channel growing and growing. I feel like there's no stopping us at this point. I feel like it's just going to be growth from here on out as long as I'm making videos, and I love making videos. I can go on forever about this stuff, so it's really easy for me to make content back to back to back. Anyways, peace out, guys. Stay tuned. Thank you, guys.